But I think the first player that we're going to talk about as an overachieving player is Chris Boucher. Bonjour, shout out Quebec, shout out Canada. You already know.
Shout out Toronto.
Shout out Toronto. You already know, man. Chris Boucher. I mean, we have to bring him up. I mean, like he's literally been doing this like right in front of our faces, man. He's averaging 14 points per game, 6 rebounds, shooting 45% from three. And man, he's been the biggest surprise so far of the season for like the Toronto Raptors and the league, man. Like this guy is just on a whole other level, like on his play. And I think the biggest thing with Chris Boucher is, first thing, taking better shots. Like last season, he got opportunities to play. He got opportunities to show himself in Nick Nurse's system. Granted in very few minutes, but he wasn't really comfortable. He wasn't taking the right shots. He was forcing a lot of his offense, and that really hurt his performance. But now this season, we see him. He's very comfortable. He's taking great shots. When he's open, he takes threes. He's not hesitating at all, and he's finishing at the rim more. And that has been such a huge help for the Raptors, who have honestly been getting nothing from their center position for the first part of the season. To have a guy in Boucher who can actually hit a layup inside as a 7-footer is very much appreciated as Raptor fans. I don't know.
Like to your point about Chris Boucher, he's taking a huge step forward in terms of his development. As you were talking about last year, I think he knew he was playing in limited minutes, so he tried to do as much as he could in those limited minutes. To his fault sometimes, right? You talk about him, and he admitted it himself, right? He would chuck up bad shots, right? Random threes. Like his shot selection was not good. He was not a great finisher at the rim. He added, what do you say, like 15, 20 pounds of muscle. He got stronger at finishing at the rim. His shots been looking good.
It's faster, actually, when you notice his shot. Now, again, his release is unorthodox, but I mean, it goes in.
So that was one of the main things the Raptors also worked with him in the offseason, him and Matt Thomas particularly, to make their shots a lot faster. And you're seeing the dividends of it. And to your point, too, the thing that makes Chris Boucher's leap so special is because it comes at the most opportune time for the Raptors, because of the fact that prior to Aaron Baines' last 3 games, no big men on the Raptors were doing absolutely anything except for Chris Boucher. Chris Boucher was the only reliable big man the Raptors had in the rotation. So the fact that they're getting this out of him is great for them, because they needed this at this exact point in the season.
And I think the key thing with Boucher is that he's bringing consistency every single night. Like he's consistently delivering, and he's just been a spark off the bench for the Raptors. Another element of the Raptors that a lot of people have been complaining about is, including us, is the bench. The bench has been atrocious. Like there's nobody off the Raptors bench who can consistently give them production besides Chris Boucher. And that's just been a huge boost for this team, man. And so Chris Boucher has just overall just been fantastic this season. I think at this point, he's in the running for most improved player. If he keeps this up, he's in the running of 6th man of the year at this point, especially considering how, lackluster the Raptor bench is. They need all the help they can get. But I think there's one drawback with Chris Boucher, and I think it's something that there's not really a ton he can do about it. In certain physical matchups, it's just not as advantageous to play Chris Boucher. Those matchups are just tough for him to overcome. For instance, what I'm referring to is, let's say he's going up against like a big center, like a Yusuf Nurkic or like a Nikola Jokic, or, one of those old school traditional style, like tough centers. Bam Adebayo.
Or we just saw him get abused by Miles Turner.
Yeah, Miles Turner. Again, we're talking about bigger, stronger centers who are more physical, and force Chris out of his game. And I think, he's a skinny guy. He has the Kevin Durant issue where, it's tough for those guys to put muscle on their frame. With Kevin Durant, he's more of a perimeter player, so he doesn't necessarily have to, take on that punishment. But as a big, you kind of have no choice. You kind of have to take what you can get, man. So, but regardless of the fact that, he has those physical limitations, he's still been fantastic this season. He's been an amazing player for the Raptors. I hope he keeps it going, because this is a level of production that I didn't think Chris Boucher had within him. Well, I'll scratch that. I mean, he was a MVP, a G League MVP and Defensive Player of the Year in the same season. So
Hakeem Olajuwon of the G League.
I guess so. But again, like this just comes to show you where, like, a guy, you give the guy an opportunity, and this is a guy who takes an opportunity and takes full advantage of it. So Chris Boucher is definitely a player has overachieved to start the season.
Yeah, I think side note too, this is why when we're predicting our season awards, this is why we said the most improved player award is the hardest award to predict. We didn't even have Chris Boucher in our MIP discussion, right? Kind of disrespectful, I guess, for us as Raptors fans.
Well, I mean, he came out of nowhere. Like,
it's a pleasant surprise, right? So, like, that's why we said that the MIP award, Most Improved Player Award, is the hardest award to predict because you just don't know how guys are going to come into the season, how they're going to play. And Chris Boucher is a prime example of it.